Great peace, great peace, great peace, great peace. So I want to talk about Donald Trump and him allowing congressmen to trade stocks, and um, is that good or bad, right? Me, I don't really have a pick about the fight. I think like every person who's in America, who's American, who's a citizen, um, who's a resident, they deserve the right to buy, sell, and hold stock. They have that right. I don't care if they're, an attorney general. I don't care if they're an FBI agent. I don't care if they're, um, you know, uh, senator, representative, judge. I don't care. Why that do needs to be more regulation. You don't necessarily fight about it. Like you look at the fact that Trump has a coin out there with his face on it, those minute copper coins, and you wonder like, okay, why is it that, you get a Harriet Tubman coin that's silver, she may not necessarily be on copper, and you find out that, it's a limited supply of it. But you go here, you go there, he's everywhere on these copper coins. He's everywhere on these silver coins. And like when people buy it, right, business, may come to their community, may not, you know what I mean? Like it needs to be more regulation on that, I bought one of his silver coins and I sold it, right? I sold it to my coin dealer. And, I was thinking like, they need to do something about, the regulation that's with this. They need to do something about it. Because like when you're investing into copper, you're investing into silver, you're investing into gold, you don't want the wrong mint mark on there and being circulated in your community, Because like, imagine how someone feels when they see Abraham Lincoln on a penny, or when they see Thomas Jefferson on the nickel, or on the $5 or wherever it is, or Andrew Jackson on the $2 bill, whatever it is, right? Imagine how these people feel. Like you're constantly being barged with, this certain look and this certain face, which is not necessarily true, but more so mythical, right? You wonder like, what is, agencies and regulations doing to, put that stuff out of circulation? Because again, like it's really still in the finances of the people here in these communities. It's really still in their finances, because like their face isn't on that money. When you go to Haiti, you're going to see a Haitian on that money. When you go to Kenya, you're going to see a Kenyan on that money. This is why these countries don't necessarily have political issues up until the point that black people do. Like how is it you got all these years, like, and this is what I'm saying, like black people are not necessarily free in 2025. Like if you're still trading with these coins and these USD dollars, you know what I mean? Like you're not free. If you're going for that, if you're putting your life on the line, you're sacrificing other people's lives to get that money, you're not necessarily free, You're not necessarily free. And I say that with all due respect because, people, they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're not going in the direction where the light is. They're not doing that. You put something into circulation like a Donald Trump copper coin, a copper bullion, you put it into circulation. They don't necessarily see its importance over it being in circulation compared to a George Washington or a Benjamin Franklin. They don't see its importance. Those men are not alive. Donald Trump, he's alive. So like, you wonder where this currency is going, where people are, are they buying the money? Are they doing that? So I didn't mean to turn this into a conversation about that, but like I had to point out the fact that, his face is on a lot of coins. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see Obama face on a lot of coins when he was in presidency. I didn't see it, maybe because I was too young, but I didn't see it. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. He's in his last term, so he may run for a third one, and the judge may allow it. The Supreme Court, we'll see. Cause like I don't really see nobody named who's in the basket who's going to be up next. Pete Buttigieg, or maybe Gavin Newsom. Is Kamala Harris going to run again? Like, who's next? Is it J.D. Vance? And I think they're going to. It's either going to be J.D. Vance, DeSantis, or Gavin Newsom. It's going to be one of them three, because they do things slickly. You know what I mean? Like, the people aren't necessarily getting these people into office. They're just putting these people through because they know something. If you let the wrong person run and he does something to liberate black people, which, no one can necessarily do except through, spending and inflation. If he says, like Obama, he could have been like, black people, buy gold, stop going to the grocery market, stop going up to this place or that place, asking for, that USD. He could have just said, like, buy Kenyan shillings. If he would have said that, you know what I mean? If he would have explained to them why it's important to do that, they would have did him like John F. Kennedy. So think about that. Great peace, Yakoki.